I'd like to call this meeting to order. It's so great to see all of your faces here tonight. Thank you for being here. I'd like to welcome all of you this beautiful day. I hope this weather stays exactly the way it is. Kim, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Austin.
Present.
Ms. Quetch. Here. Mr. Webb. Here. Vice Mayor Anderson.
Here.
And Mayor Pillion.
Here. Now I would like to have Mr. Anderson lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I would now like to invite Brad Farmer, who's the Executive Director at Faith in Action, to open our meeting in prayer.
Thank you very much. Let's pray. Gracious Heavenly Father, God, we thank you for another beautiful day you blessed us with. God, I thank you for the elected officials and all the employees of the town of Abingdon that lead us and move our town forward. God, I pray that you would just always give them clarity and vision as they work to represent the homeowners and business owners in the community, God. And I just pray that you would help them continue to move our town forward, keep us safe and protected. And God, just guide them in everything they do, Lord. And we thank you for all your blessings in our life, and we thank you for the wonderful town we call home. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll move on to the approval of the agenda. Do we have a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
So moved.
I'll second.
So we have a motion by Mr. Webb, a second by Vice Mayor Anderson. Is there any discussion? There's no discussion. Kim, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Austin.
Aye.
Ms. Quetch.
Aye.
Mr. Webb.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Anderson.
Aye.
And Mayor Pillion.
Aye. We need to approve the minutes of our previous meeting on February 5th, 2024. I'll accept a motion for the approval of the minutes.
So moved.
A second.
Second.
So we have a motion by Mr. Austin, a second by Mr. Webb. Is there any discussion? If there's no discussion, Kim, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Austin.
Aye.
Ms. Quetch. Aye. Mr. Webb.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Anderson.
Aye.
And Mayor Pillion.
Aye. The next item on our agenda is public comments. We have two people signed up for public comments today. First, we have Mr. Eddie Copenhaver.
Eddie Copenhaver, 205 Preston Street, Abingdon, Virginia, 24210. Just here tonight to remind y'all we still have a flooding problem on Preston Street and Hagee Street. The infrastructure's still there. All it needs is a very little bit of stuff done to get it working. And I don't know why it's not done, but you know, we still have a flooding problem. It'll be easily fixed. Y'all have a great night.
Thank you. Now we have Mr. Greg Lilly.
Thank you for the opportunity. I have a suggestion for a more robust
Mr. Lilly, will you state your name
Oh,
and
I'm
address,
sorry.
please?
I don't know everybody. Greg Lilly, I'm at 244 East Valley Street, Abington, 24210.
Thank you.
So a suggestion for a more robust means of communication and collaboration between council and the citizens. The 3-minute slot that we have for public comments, it's great to get up here and talk about what we're concerned about, but there's no interaction. We never hear the council members' opinions or engage in a two-way conversation. In the past few months, 2 council meetings were canceled because of no agenda items. This could have been a great opportunity for council members to interact with town citizens, hear our concerns, and let us hear your individual views, goals, and issues. I've never had a problem reaching or talking with individual council members, but I would value hearing from the council as a group in a public meeting discussing with us and each other the opportunities and concerns of the town. I suggest a regular citizen and council member forum to exchange ideas and discuss the issues facing our community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Although we don't usually comment on public comments, I would like to say, for those of you who don't often watch the end of the meeting, when we typically discuss this, that we've talked about the flooding problem before, and just in the interest of transparency, since it seems to be an ongoing issue with some citizens, we have on our website a video that describes everything that we've done to this point, and the video for the engineering company that we hired to assess the situation. That's available on the town website, and also all of the printouts that are pertinent to that situation are located on the side table. So if there's information that you'd like to know about that situation, we've made it available for you. So thank you very much.
Thank
We
you
will
very
move ahead now to proclamations. We don't have any tonight. We do not have any public hearings. We do have a resolution declaring Abingdon Green 2 Apartments projects to be a revitalization area in the town of Abingdon. And the Assistant Town Manager, Mayana Rice, is going to summarize this for us.
Good evening, Mayana Rice. I'm just going to kind of hand the baton off. People Inc. approached us and asked us if we would work with them to create a resolution declaring the Abingdon Green 2 Apartments to be part of a revitalization area. This is apartments that already exist in the town of Abingdon, focused on our seniors. And so they're looking to remodel the project and need this to be part of their process. So I'll hand it over.
Thank you, council, for letting us come tonight with the revitalization resolution. I'm Brian Ailey with People Incorporated, Vice President, Chief Development Officer there. The Abingdon Green Apartments, many of you might know, they're next to the Senior Center off of Whites Mill Road. There's 32 one-bedroom units there that serve the elderly and the disabled. We bought that, and I apologize that I'm hoarse, I've had that virus that's going around. We bought the property originally. People Incorporated is owned and operated since 2007, and I was actually part of the original rehab on those. They were built in the late 80s, and they've been renovated once. They have recently exited their compliance period for the tax credits and the financing that was involved in 2007 to 2009. So they are eligible for a recapitalization and reinvestment. So People Incorporated intends to apply for new housing tax credits in the March round of this year in 2024 in hopes of getting allocation of those credits to leverage additional funding to renovate them a second time. Long-term objective for the organization is to maintain affordable housing in our service area. We've been here, the entire length of our organization since '64. So this is just a kind of a perpetual approach to affordable housing. The resolution you have in front of you tonight is really just speaking to what essentially boils down to points in a competitive application for us. It doesn't require material or financial participation from the locality, just designating it as a revitalization area due to no other investment expected. As an existing apartment community, we wanted to get that in front of you all in hopes of grabbing a few extra points in our application to leverage those housing tax credits. We did the same on the Whites Mill project that we'll be breaking ground on in the next couple of months further down on Whites Mill, and a variety of other projects over the years. So I'm happy to answer your questions about the project specifics or about the resolution.
I don't have any questions, but I know that we have a lack of affordable housing, as much of the country does right now. And so I think that this is a wonderful situation. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you all.
Thank you.
So we need to have a motion to accept this resolution.
I'd make that motion.
I'll second that motion as well.
So we have a motion by Mr. Webb, a second by Vice Mayor Anderson. Is there any discussion on this issue? There's no discussion. Can we please call the roll?
Mr. Austin.
Aye.
Ms. Quetch.
Aye.
Mr. Webb.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Anderson.
Aye.
And Mayor Pillion.
Aye. So we have no ordinances to read or bids to consider. We're going to move forward to business and communications from the town manager. So I will hand it over to Mr. Cochran.
Yes, ma'am. First, we have, and it's just how the order of the flow goes, we have Ms. Betsy White, who holds several titles, but she's going to be presenting in the capacity as the director of the museum, and she's got some really exciting news and an update on the renovation update, what do you call that, major changes. to the
Major
museum.
changes.
That,
Major
yeah, major
changes.
changes.
Thank
And
you.
she can say it far better than I can.
I don't know. Thank you very much. And many thanks to Ms. Kingsley over there for getting my PowerPoint ready to go today. Thank you. So I just forward it like this. Is
Yes.
that right? Ah, it worked. Okay.
Sometimes it does.
Yes. So, good evening to all of you, and thank you for letting me be here tonight to give you this update, which I'm just delighted to do. The first slide is, it's a rendering, but we're almost there to this very first step in our full campus renovation. It probably will be finished in another month. And that is step one of the big campus renovation. And I want to tell you that my Board of Trustees joins me in thanks for your help in partly funding this step one, and also for your recent help in unrestricted support, which was extremely beneficial to us. It allowed us to proceed with some big operational needs that we had been putting off for a couple of years. So thank you so much for that also. So onward to really the big news of the day. The Virginia Museum of Animal Art is located in Charlottesville, and if you all will remember, in April of 2022, we made the big announcement of this transformative gift. It is definitely transformative. I've used that word so much it's become trite sounding to me, but it is nothing less than transformative for us in our museum, as well as for the possibilities within our town and our county and our whole entire region. It is a world-class art collection that's called the World Collection of Animal Art. It is going to be the collection itself. The foundation is building and fully funding a new wing for it. What they said to me was, we know you don't have anywhere to put it, so we'll build you a wing. And then partially funding a campus for us. As you see on the other side of the slide, I am pointing out that we are an accredited museum, a nationally accredited museum by the American Alliance of Museums. We're one of 1,000 out of about 35,000 in the country. So that's a big distinction for us, and it's part of what allowed us to be chosen to have this particular gift. So the collection itself has about 170 pieces of art, and that includes paintings as well as sculptures. Sculptures include about maybe 25 that will be inside, smaller sculptures, and then 12 large sculptures out on the campus that we just can really all enjoy watching: an ostrich run, a big hippopotamus wallowing in the mud, and of course the 5 wolves that will signify Wolf Hills. So this collection consists of possibly, it's around $18 million in cash. And then the collection itself is valued, the last valuation of it was around $9 million. So it is a very large transformative gift that we are talking about. Now, the 170 pieces include artists that are the who's who in the world of this particular genre, which is called wildlife art. And it presents extraordinary possibilities for us in our museum, for the possibilities of sharing it and all the educational aspects of it with our audiences everywhere. So it also is going to be something that will draw people to come here to visit, to come here to live, and to come here to even make a business here. So it's going to be just wonderful. Manfred Schatz is one of the artists. This particular painting is called Fire in the Swamp. It's very moving to see the birds flying away from the fire. This one is a pretty large exhibition, a pretty large painting. I've got the measurements and I want to tell you because they are pretty large. This one is 70 inches by 47 inches. And Rosa Bonheur was French. This is a 19th century French artist, Rosa Bonheur, king of the desert. This one is very interesting. This is large too. It's 40 inches by 67 inches. It is by Alexander Koester, who is a German, was a German. This particular one was once owned by Louis Comfort Tiffany, and it has been, the last time it was exhibited other than at the Virginia Museum of Animal Art was in the Metropolitan Museum of Art. It's beautiful. It's one of my favorites. The paint that he puts on there is so thick you feel like the birds are just in a frenzy over feeding whatever was just thrown into the water over them. Ray Harris Chin is a New Zealander, although he lives really around the world. This one is called The Alarm, and what you can see off on the side, if you look closely, is a little bird that is basically alarmed at what's going on. This one was painted in 1991, and it is about 40 inches by 60 inches. And then the last one that I'll show you, or the second to the last, is another one by Ray Harris Chin. This one is just beautiful. It also just pops with its colors. It's called The Black Swan. It's a favorite of everyone's. And then last but not least is Mr. Bent Timbo. He is absolutely huge. He is almost 100 inches by 70 inches. And he just sort of looms at the end of the gallery. As you look at him, I can just see the children coming in there to be greeted by Timbo. Robert Bateman is a Canadian, and he is still living, and he is really so well known in this wildlife genre of art. So that's the collection that will be in the new wing and out on the campus, some of them out on the campus, the sculptures, that is. So we are also going to include a commissioned exhibition of collection by Suzanne Strike. I think all of you know her. She is from Bristol. She's a long-term artist from Bristol. She has been in pretty much all of the From These Hills exhibitions that we've had since 1993, chosen by various different curators. She's just extraordinary as a naturalist artist. She was chosen by the Virginia Commission for the Arts to do a fellowship program several years ago, and it produced a collection of art from around the whole state. It was called Notes on the State of Virginia, which mimics Thomas Jefferson's Notes on the State of Virginia. And it then drew a collection that she has now placed at the Virginia Museum at the UVA Museum at Monticello, near Monticello, for this collection. And so what we have done, thanks to a donor, is we have commissioned her to do Notes on the State of Southwest Virginia. And so she is doing that now, and this will be in the lobby of the new wing as an introductory exhibition for this. I will pause here just to say and to point out how extraordinary this pivot is that we are also making towards art. Art means well-being, and towards healthy lifestyles, and using this campus, which will be full of trails, hiking trails and walking trails and natural habitats, for promoting healthy living. And so this is an introduction to taking care of nature. So the programming that we'll do around this will include adult classes through our new art lab that was opened in about 2020 in the annex right next to our building. It's for high school, college, and adults. All kinds of educational opportunities for painting, drawing in the gallery, nature, all those kinds of things. This is another class there that's in the studio there with Suzanne Strike. Just lots of going in the studios and looking at nature and going out on the campus and drawing little journals. This is a new 5th grade program that we are piloting right now for the school systems called Art Explorers, which will have children come in, see this exhibition of animal art, and then go out onto the campus to do journaling and come back to paint their pictures. So the new wing, what will it look like? I have these pictures that are new, and they are the last renderings before we really break ground. As you see, that's where it's located, on the rear of the building. It is secondary to the main museum building. It honors the main museum building. but it's going to be beautiful. And that's it. We're looking at under the cantilever there is the lobby, and but below the cantilever is something that you can't see on this picture, which is receiving and storage. We will probably put around a third to a half of the collection on view at one time. It's a large collection. And then the top floor where that glass is where the collection will be housed. That is the gallery. It connects, as you see, to the main lobby level of the museum through that bridge. So all of the galleries now, almost all of them, but we plan for all of them, to be on one main lobby level. You can see right outside there the landscape there that's right outside, a place for lingering, a place for walking. You can see some of those big sculptures there. Those trees that you see are Kentucky coffee trees, and they are going to be something that will provide shade but have a nice high canopy under them. This is just a shot of the pollinator garden. Pollinator garden is something that encourages bees and butterflies and all those kinds of things. And it's an aesthetic that uses, in the wintertime, this is a winter shot, lets things be as they are in the winter for the animals to be able to enjoy it. You can see there people walking through there on that pathway. You also can see one or two of the large sculptures. And so this last slide is of the campus itself. And as you see from the bottom part of it leading upward towards it are all kinds of trails. One of them is called the Meadow Walk. It is a grade that is ADA accessible. So it'll be good for wheelchairs, it'll be good for the elderly, it'll be good for strollers, babies, and families. And through the woods on each side are about 2.5 miles of hiking and walking trails through the woods. There's also a amphitheater that's on the west side there. You see little brown lines there. That's the amphitheater that we hope will be used by barter and by all kinds of people that want to have small outdoor events. And on the other opposite side is our events space, which will hopefully be used too. We also will have our own new sculpture walk. Every 5 years, we'll have a nationally oriented sculpture competition with a theme. This first time when we roll out this campus, the theme is Unleashing the Wolf. And you all have also helped us to fund that too. So the timeline is we're about to start. The construction documents are about ready. We're going to be into bidding and staging and contracts pretty soon. And June 1 is where shovels should go to ground with the new wing. And then construction should be finished by late 2025. Here's the team. The architects, TWBTA, are from New York City. They specialize in museums around the world. And that's why they were chosen. The world's enabled this to happen, and that's why they were chosen to do this. They're currently working on the Barack Obama Cultural Center in Chicago, the new embassy in New Mexico. They did the Barnes Collection, Philadelphia, and moved that. It's just that they specialize in museums, and they have been just wonderful. Paul Shuloff and Azadeh Rashidi are both graduates of UVA's architecture school, and they are the principals on this. In fact, they have just gone out on their own with their own firm. We are their first clients with their own firm. And then the landscape architects are from Charlottesville. That's Wolf Josie Landscape Architects from Charlottesville. Oh, this one did get bounced around a little bit, Kim. And Burwell Construction is our contractor. So we are set to go. And so that's it for that. Just quickly coming up, we have exhibitions all the time that change. As you know, we're never the same museum. This is the 75th anniversary of the Virginia Highlands Festival. There will be an exhibition with us that will open in late June. And the exhibition Wardrobe is going to close on June the 9th. If you haven't seen it, be sure that you do. We have our public tours at 2 for every exhibition. That one coming up is on March the 20th. And it's a fun time to come on a Sunday afternoon, have a little refreshments and a glass of iced tea, and get a curator's tour of that. I happen to be the curator for that this time. So you have to listen to me again. And then coming up is an exhibition that's coming on loan from the Virginia Museum of Fine Arts. We are a partner of theirs. They have been with us since day one. It underscores the fact that we are an accredited museum, that we have their collections here. So this is going to be celebrating Art Nouveau. It's called The Art of Advertisement, and it will be a wonderful exhibition that opens the end of April. So please look forward to that. So I'm going to close with this lovely picture right here, taken by someone over here. And I've commandeered it because I think it's just going to have to be our Christmas card next year. But what I would like to close with is to key off that word accreditation and to tell you, as I said, we're pivoting towards this whole healthy lifestyles and art equals well-being while maintaining our Never the Same museum and high-quality exhibitions. The World Health Organization is always evaluating best cities from a healthy living standpoint. They quoted Bloomberg, the business journal Bloomberg, not too long ago. They prioritized leisure activities, notably including the density of museums in a community. Similarly, Money Magazine's Best Places to Live considers the presence of accredited museums as a significant determinant in its rankings. So, we are set. And are we getting ready to be set? Now, I have, this is the collection, and I'd be glad, I think I've left it here maybe one other time. Shall I leave it again one other time? Would anybody like to see it, to flip through it? Sure? Okay. I do need it back.
Ms. White, I'd like to say you're doing wonderful things for the William King Art Center out there, and as far as I'm concerned, you're working well for the kids and for the adults in this community, and I think the council is behind you 110%.
Thank you,
I think
Dwayne.
you do a wonderful job out there.
Thank you so very much.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you to all of you.
Yes, ma'am.
I think we are in a good partnership, and I appreciate the support you have with us. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're excited to see what's getting ready to happen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And so next we have the Virginia Highlands Festival, and they're in the back here. We've met with them a couple times, and they're here to present. They've got the Highlands Festival's coming up, and it's could be action-packed this year.
Good evening. Dee Dee Cole, our executive director, she sends her love, but not her flu or sickness. That's why she's not here this evening. And following up, Betsy White, come on. We'll do our best over here, but I'm glad I have Susan Mole, who is our chair of the culinary committee. She's going to talk a little bit about the specifics of Restaurant Month. But first, I just wanted to give the highlights as the board president of the Highlands Festival, kind of what's going on this summer, what you can kind of expect, and then reserve my time to this wonderful person right over here. Some of the things we're excited about. Our partnerships continue to be something that we want to pursue always. That's why we're really excited that our Arts and Crafts Show is going to be back on the Martha Washington lawn after many, many years of not being there. Not only does this allow our Arts and Crafts Show to grow, which at this point we're already around 20% more submissions than we had at this point last year, which is really great. But more importantly, it allows us to really lean on a strong partnership again with the Martha Washington. We're deepening events like Community Day by bringing it to the town's visitor center, and at the same time we're also bringing back events that were even before my time, I think even living here, but apparently the gala is an amazing event that a lot of folks remember, so we're bringing that back in partnership with the Martha Washington. It's going to be in their ballroom. Dinner will be served as well. We didn't get to have a proper debrief of the Plan Air event that happened in October, but one of the things that's really great about that continues to grow. We had 40 artists this year, which is up from 30 the year before, and we hope that this really builds a strong culture. I mean, we don't need much help, like Betsy White's doing it all herself over here, but a strong culture of building art collectors and folks interested in that. We had folks from as far away from New York and Texas, and folks from 20 different states in the country, which was really cool. And we are always and ever grateful for the town for your collaborative spirit. And that's why we're always grateful to give back anytime we can, having the town use our stage for Earth Day, which was given to us by the Higher Ed Center. So this kind of collaborative network that we have in our town, we're happy to be part of that, and we're happy that we're able to work with you in that capacity, because I don't want to even think, and I have a good imagination, I don't even want to think about what the festival would look like without the town's support and collaboration. So we're grateful to you for that. But I'm going to reserve my time. I'm going to pass it over here to Susan. She's going to tell you some more fun stuff.
Well, thank you. As Ryan says, I'm Susan Mole. I was here about a year ago, I think, talking about Restaurant Week. I co-chair the Culinary Arts and Traditions with Jane Durr, and she couldn't be here this evening. But we want to tell you about the reimagining of Restaurant Week. We have moved it under the advice of several of our restaurateurs to April, and we're going to have events through the month of April. And it has been renamed. It's Eat, Drink, Love Virginia Highlands. And the events are about ready to go. Our website is about done. But let me tell you about some of the partnerships. We're very excited. Our first event is Talk, Share, Taste at the Martha with Willie Baldwine. He's going to be talking about the difficulty in interpreting historic recipes. We are members who come and sign up for the workshop bring recipes that their grandmother used to make, but it never quite tastes the same. He's going to make his grandmother's biscuits, and we're going to do cookies, which of course is confusing for an English woman because they're biscuits too. Anyway, so that will be fun. We are doing our first event this year, in several years I think, in the culinary arts for children. Frost Sprinkle Taste is going to be a cookie decorating class at Shaped. Cassie Rowe and Kitsy Manuel are going to do a class. The parents, of course, come, so it's not a riot over there, but it's designed for the children. Then we have Farm Taste Sip at Storm Brew. I didn't know that the Storm Brew ladies actually brew their own beer. So there'll be deviled eggs, there'll be meatballs, it will be fabulous, and we'll get to try the Storm Brew IPA. Storm Brew supplies a lot of the restaurants here in town. So members who sign up for the citizens who sign up for the workshop will get to know a little bit about what it's like to supply our wonderful restaurants. We have Mix, Pour, Enjoy at Foresta. Zane Triplett and John Kessner from Rain will be teaching the participants how to make cocktails at home, so there won't be dry ice and those kind of things. It'll be things that translate to a home bar, as it were. And Daisy Sturger from Storm Brew will be doing small eats for that. There may well be meat, but it's small eats that she's providing. Then we have Create, Place, Savor, which is knitting and crocheting classes for placemats. So as you can see, we're sort of broadening the invitation for culinary. And then we have Tour Taste Shop, which is based in the Commons. Basically all of the restaurants and eateries in the Commons will be providing small tastes of things to folks who come in and talk to the families who run these restaurants and eateries, learn about their philosophy, get a little bit of those wonderful cinnamon rolls, something fabulous from the Hen House, and from the other folks in that wonderful place. There'll be 2 small groups that come through over the course of the afternoon, and they'll end up in Tumbling Creek. So not literally in Tumbling Creek, but drinking cider with the Tumbling Creek guys. My personal favorite is going to be Butter Rise Taste, which is laminated pastries with Chef David Collier at the Girl in the Raven. This is a James Beard awarded pastry chef that we have in our community here. And it's so exciting. I'm going to go and be his helper for the morning. So a little bit of that just rubs off, I hope. Our last ticketed event is Global Local Home, which is a farm-to-table dinner at Full Bloom Farmhouse. We have truck. The Casmies are going to be doing the food, along with Laurie Briscoe from Appalachian Teas and Botanicals, and the Heritage Distillery are going to do cocktails. And the focus around that is the importance of people, place, and culture to the food and the cuisine. So really, that should be a really interesting evening. In addition, my little fabric store is offering an Eat, Drink, Love apron kit, which you can buy actually in the store and online. So as you can see, lots of interesting partnerships this year, and we hope this will grow. We've already started planning for 2025. And it gives us an opportunity to really focus on the other shoulder. You know, plein air kind of pins down the fall activities. Restaurant Week never really allowed us to sell this notion of a year-long festival. And in the summer, of course, our restaurateurs are so busy with all the festival public. You know, we just get in the way during that time. So having these events in April gives us an opportunity to partner with folks when they're perhaps not quite so busy and people are looking for things to do. So I'd be happy to answer any questions about the culinary offerings, or that Ryan can.
I think it sounds amazing. There's so many, it sounds like there's something for absolutely everyone.
Yeah, some of them are so creative. It's just been exciting to work with these folks. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ryan. Okay, next up, and also hard to follow, is going to be Tanya Triplett and Chad from Tourism with their quarterly update from things that are coming up, and I'm sure you'll find it captivating.
A few of the things we've been working on, so we put some Addy stickers by each of your desks today, and on Saturday night we attended the American Advertising Federation Awards, and Nathan Wampler, who designed that Yeti sticker, received a gold award on Saturday night for his design. So we were very excited to be there and accept that award. So thank you, Nathan Wampler. We appreciate that. Best of Abingdon opened up on Friday, so if you haven't voted for your 30 favorite businesses in Abingdon, please go on there and do that. Chad and I presented to the Emory and Henry Business College in a Certificate of Hospitality course last week, and just really had a good time presenting some of the things that we've been working on to some of these kids who are young adults, not kids, these young adults who are in the business class and are pursuing the hospitality industry. So we saw people who were going to be in golf. Some of them wanted to be in maintenance of golf courses. Others wanted to work for PGA. We saw students from South Africa. We saw students from the Netherlands. So pretty exciting to have those folks here and playing sports at our college nearby. We have applied for 2 Virginia Tourism grants, $20,000 each, and we are going to get a new visitor guide, and we've talked about maybe some drone footage. Chad is very good at video, so we're going to do some podcast and maybe interview some of our restaurateurs and our retailers and open up a little spot on our YouTube channel for some of those things. Diana Blackburn is our newest addition to the tourism department, and Diana is going to be going to the Virginia Tourism Conference and Seminar in Chincoteague next week. So we have her planned for some sales calls on her way up to Chincoteague to stop at some AAA offices and leave some Abingdon information. We have also worked with the Barter and the Highlands Festival on some co-op advertising. We have had huge success in a magazine called Our State. It's a North Carolina piece. It hits all of our important parts of North Carolina that we know visitors are coming from. So their sales rep was in town a couple of weeks ago, and we now have a co-op with those 2 organizations to get an extra full-page ad in that magazine, as well as some digital marketing that will help market the festival. We have sponsored the Fillers Convention for the past 2 years. They're in their 3rd year. I left a flyer on your desk. Also, their goal from the beginning of the Fillers Convention was to make that a week-long event. So if you'll look on the back of that, you will see jam sessions at the Washington County Park. You will see music at the Abingdon Farmers Market. You will see the barbecue jam and music on the lawn of the Martha. And then you will also see on Sunday afternoon, they've partnered with Simple Rhythms, and they'll be having a fellowship service at the Fillers Convention on Sunday, as well as a bluegrass gospel band competition on Sunday. One of the really unique things about the Abingdon Fillers Convention is, number one, the awards are made by a metal artist. So it's bicycle chains and nuts and bolts in the shape of banjos and fiddles. So if you haven't seen those, I would encourage you to kind of check those out. They're pretty cool. But they also have worked with Billy Blue Records in Nashville and the Blind Otter Recording Studio right here in Abingdon. And the winners of the band competitions are going to get a free session, a free recording session. So that kind of, it's going to set their convention apart, I think. It's a really nice prize. I want to thank you all for the incubator. It worked. We didn't have space for a couple of retailers, and Mr. Signer started out in that larger space near Mamma Mia's, and he has now graduated out to his own building at 343 Designs. We allowed Dean Barr to be in there when he lost his space, and Dean was there for a little over a year, but now he is renovating a space just across the street from the visitor center where Pretty Little Things was located, and he will be opening there very soon. So very excited about that. Winter jams, we were not able to do the full schedule for January jams because of Barter's renovation. So we partnered up with the Martha Washington Inn. We did 2 weekends, the last weekend in January, because we thought the Rotary Frolics was always the first the 1st of February. That didn't work out for us this year, but that was okay. It worked out fine. So we put about 550 people in those 2 weekends in downtown Abingdon at the Martha. So I think that worked out really well. I think the Martha was very pleased, and we're hoping that some of those folks that attended those events were out in the community eating at restaurants and enjoying themselves before the show. We are working with some travel riders. So we have 5 travel riders coming April the 13th. They'll be here for lunch in Abingdon, and they'll be seeing the Johnny Cash show at Barter. And then our PR firm let us know today that she has 2 lined up for April. So we'll work tomorrow to plan their itineraries and to get them in Abingdon, show them all the things that we have. We have been working with some of the businesses who are interested in hosting music. So we hope that we're going to be able to make some bigger music events happen this year. If you haven't been to Bonfire lately, the back patio has been turned into a very nice stage that has removable banisters and areas for bag chairs. So that's pretty exciting. We'll see what happens there. We have just finished up the Small Business Challenge. So on the 3rd Thursday of March at the Chamber of Commerce breakfast, we will learn who the winners of the 2024 Business Challenge is. Several of those would be located here in Abingdon, so we're pretty excited about that. We were voted the USA Today top art scene. We were number 3 in the entire country, so we were very proud of that. And today we opened up another USA Today, 2 times to vote this time, Southern Town, small Southern town, and we're in the running again for the best small town food scene. So that is very exciting. Congratulations to William King. Very excited to have another asset in our community to be able to promote, and very excited about all the things happening with the Virginia Highlands Festival and all the work they're doing. And I'm going to let Chad give you a little bit of information about all of the numbers and the fun stuff.
Thanks, Tanya.
Well, Tanya actually got to report on all the fun stuff. Actually, she covered some of my stuff, so that's less I have to do. So this is just kind of a 2023 data and review. I won't go through all of it, but we did experience a really good year of growth. So I've got some figures that kind of showed our year to year, and all that's available if anybody wants to see more of that. So we've reached millions of new people. We've grown our following. We filmed about 48 Mondays with the mayor last year, so that's pretty exciting to see. And that's not even counting the little special edition episodes we did. So those have been really great just to get out and about around the town and see how everybody's doing and work with the businesses and things going on. So this is kind of the high level things we're working at. What you see here is kind of a sneak peek, rough draft redesign of our outdoor guide. We've noticed that there are some things that have become updated or out of date over the years with the park systems and various outdoor recreation opportunities. So we're just trying to give everything a little bit of a facelift, put in some new interactive photos, and kind of showcase some more places as Abingdon becomes a bigger base camp for adventure in Southwest Virginia. We are working on revamping our visitor guide. We did have some businesses in there that we thought would be a little bit more evergreen, but they have since changed names, so our guide's a little out of date. But we've got a really great idea, or Tanya's got a fantastic idea to go with more of a storybook feel, since that's what our cultural heritage here in Abingdon, Southwest Virginia is all about. You may have seen some of the more interactive maps, but we have basically turned all of our printed materials in interactive digital maps as well. So that not only helps locals looking for things to do or places to go, but also our visitors coming to town that are a little bit more tech friendly can do that as well. And then I'm also working with the IT department. We're trying to revamp our tourism website. I think it's about 5 or 6 years older now. A lot of the features of that platform that it was built on are no longer manageable. So we're trying to get to a more modern platform, give everything a little bit of a facelift, and more incorporate the branding of the arts and the history and the outdoor rec and food and drink of Abingdon. Here's just kind of a brief recognition that we've received so far just this year. The best biking trail, the Blue Ridge, went to Virginia Creeper Trail. The Conservancy received the best environmental group of the Blue Ridge. Tumbling Creek Cidery was the runner-up for the best cider of the Blue Ridge. And of course, we got third in the art scene, and we hope to get first in both the food scene and the best small town in the South this year. And then just a little bit of earned media. There's a couple article titles here at the top that have came out thus far on the reporting we've received. And from just September of 23 to February of 24, when I pulled these reports, we'd already had about 94 published results, which equated to about 12 billion impressions worth an estimated value of $111 million. To give you an idea of where these numbers and figures come from, one of the articles that we were involved with was in Southern Living magazine. And just for fun, at the Emory Henry Business Talk we had last week, I looked up the cost of a full-page ad in Southern Living, and we're looking at about $600,000 for a single ad. So if you were to do a full run of issues, you're looking at about $3 million. So thinking about things like that, that's where this comes from, and we didn't pay for any of those. So
Nice.
that's it.
Thank you, Chad.
Thanks, Chad.
Thank you so much for everything you guys do.
Do a great job.
Thank you, I appreciate it. And last, because I know everybody in back is here just waiting, they want to see all the presentations first. I got Chief Holbrook with the Police Department.
So I get to follow up those presentations. Mine is pretty great, though. Mayor, members of council, thank you for taking a few minutes. Thank you, Kim, for throwing me on the agenda for this evening. But I wanted to come and talk to you about Employee of the Year for 2023. By far, the most important component of any police department is the people that work there. And I have a really incredible staff. And as a chief of police, I take pride in being able to highlight and recognize the outstanding dedication and commitment to service that displayed by one of our own officers. This year, we had the opportunity to acknowledge an employee of the police department who exemplified this dedication and commitment to the community and to the agency through an Employee of the Year award. And this year's recipient of the 2023 Employee of the Year award goes to Officer John Carter. Now I get to call John up. You can call his family there. So throughout the past year, Officer Carter has been dedicated to his duties as a patrol officer, as well as a dedicated instructor to fellow officers. He teaches in-house and down at the academy on a frequent basis. He has time and again demonstrated a hard work ethic, even when he's faced with a significant medical condition. He went through that medical condition, bounced back, and again came right back in and showed his commitment, his proactivity, and then his instruction just picked right back up. So he's on the range with us quite frequently, teaching us how to shoot. I could stand up here and brag on Officer Carter for a little while, but I think relaying some of the statements I got when I reached out to my staff and said, who would you all like to nominate for Employee of the Year? And they sent me back quite a few responses. I want to read you some of those responses. So one officer said, over the last year, Officer Carter has gone through some incredibly tough trials with his health and has still managed to stay positive, consistent at work, and continue to be proactive. It says a lot about someone to go through so much and still be an officer who desires and pursues excellence. Another officer said he consistently maintains a positive attitude and belief in the work that he does. He has an open mind and a willingness to think through problems. He makes proper decisions when needed and utilizes his discretion appropriately. Another one. In his brief span of being with the department, Officer Carter has exemplified the qualities and excellence that will leave a lasting impression on our department for years to come. Not only does Officer Carter excel in his duties related to law enforcement, but his proficiency in firearms has also been noteworthy. His commitment to safety protocols and his ability to instill confidence in others reflects his leadership and professionalism. And one final one, an officer wrote, Officer Carter's contributions extend beyond the everyday responsibilities of his position, making him an exemplary candidate for the Employee of the Year award. His commitment to education, safety, and community engagement reflects the values and standards sought after by the Abingdon Police Department. So those are just a few of the statements and words of admiration that I received regarding Officer Carter. So, on behalf of the Abingdon Police Department, I extend my gratitude to your service and present to you the 2023 Employee of the Year Award. So thank you, Town Council, for your continued support to our department, and thank all my officers for all their commitment to the community. Thank you all.
Thank you much.
Thank you so much. Congratulations.
Thanks, and believe it or not, that's the end of the presentations. One other thing that I had set up for, as far as my report, last month I mentioned that we were going to be starting up the Sunday hours at the Coombs Center.
Yes.
And so we've been kind of analyzing that as we go along. And so during the month of February, we had 247 new memberships and 456 renewals. And so the nice thing is that by having that extra day, I think it spurred some folks to say, hey, now it's worth my time and my money. So anyway, it's 456 renewals, but 247 new memberships. By comparison, last year we had 200 new memberships and 280 renewals. So we've gotten a lot of renewals and exponentially more memberships. And trying to find out from Kyle how much of an impact the Sunday hours had, he said that yesterday on Sunday they had 66 members use the facility. 21 of them were new members, which is pretty neat. So that's been working. And one item that's come up here a couple times, it took a little while to get it worked out, but the mural building at 301 West Main that has Ellen Elms' mural on it, that one, I was able to get the final terms of that worked out, and so we'll have that executed real soon, and staff has bought a preservation coating. It's not actually a paint, it's more of a, it's a clear that protects it from graffiti and from UV rays. And Ellen actually had tried it on a different mural somewhere else, and it does have some restorative properties because it's already got some sun damage. But staff and I met out with her a couple weeks ago. They know what steps are going to need to be taken in order to clean it before they can preserve it. And so it's been a long uphill process to get this done because we don't own it, and it's just, anyway, the building changed hands. The new owner is really appreciative that we're able to help out with that. So we're just glad to have folks that appreciate the art in town. The banner poles, I know Mr. Austin is always interested in an update on the banner poles, and so we have had an issue with getting a cable anchor relocated through AEP. So we met out with them there last week, and the quickest way to get it done was to take down a tree. And I know Kevin Sigmund doesn't like that, but we had to take down a tree, met with AEP, and then we have the cages already built, so they'll be starting that. They took the tree down and took the stump out today, and then this week we'll be digging the holes, and then they're pretty substantial holes, and then they'll get, it's concrete and rebar, and then it'll get filled, and once those cure, then the poles will go in. So the anticipated finish date is before April 1st. So it's been a long process, but it is coming to a close. And then speaking of long processes, Kim has gone through a long process to become a master municipal clerk, which is literally hundreds of hours of training on top of the training that she already had. And, so it's huge because she really strives to do an excellent job at what she does. And she's been with the town since 2008, however long that ends up to be, a good long time. But so not just satisfying to be where she's at, she wants to constantly improve herself. And so she's going to webinars, she serves on a statewide board, but she went to the trouble of doing all that just so she can serve us better, and I think it's just pretty commendable. So I want to say thanks for that. Yeah, I typed this myself, otherwise she would have deleted it. The other thing, and to Mr. Lilly's point on the meetings, sometimes like we ebb and flow. Next month it's going to be a busy, a long meeting because we've got a lot of actual content there. But because of the way processes go, it just, it takes a while sometimes to get things up and off the ground. And we're in the process of revising a couple ordinances that'll take some time. But, but in the interest of the citizens' time, we just don't want to have a meeting just to say, hey, how's everybody doing? So we try and manage that. Again, next month, you'll see it's going to be a busier meeting. Anyway, so, but if, and Mr. Lee doesn't get a hold of me, if you got any particular issues, by all means, let us know. I mean, we've got a lot of great things coming in town, and we've got a great staff, like the police chief mentioned. I mean, anybody that does that is, they really, really work hard, and Chief's gone, but we have an excellent chief as well. He does a great job for us. So that's all the issue, or all the items that I got for today.
Okay, thank you so much. Now we have council member reports. Does anyone have anything to report?
Well, let me say, I appreciated, as Mr. Cochran did, Mr. Lilly's comments. And I think it would be a good idea if there was some way that we could have a public exchange of ideas with some type of a forum with the town council. I would support that. I mean, I think we would need to have some structure to it so we'd know what topics we were going to be discussing. But perhaps once a quarter or once a month, whatever, might be a good time for us to be able to do that.
I'd like to once again remind everyone of the upcoming Abingdon Washington County Day of Service, which is going to be on the same day as Earth Day this year, which is April 20th. We've contacted all of the schools, and we've also contacted all of the, a lot of the churches in the area. So if anybody knows of a project that needs to be done or wants to come and volunteer on that day, there will be plenty of work to do. Hopefully we will have a beautiful day to take care of all those things. Any more council member reports?
Just real quickly, I'd like to mention the Rec Advisory Commission has met a couple of times, and we're meeting again very soon to discuss one of the primary things we're working on right now is rebuilding the playground at the Coombs Center. We've had a lot of requests. That playground's kind of outlived its lifespan, and it's been long overdue. We have allocated money as a council. We talked about that a couple of months ago. And we're going to be looking for public input and of course, a collaboration of the community when we pursue this thing. So everybody who's listening, just keep your eyes and ears open. We want that to be a big community event, and rebuilding that playground is going to be significant. So,
awesome. That's wonderful. Okay, if we have no more reports, then we have an appointment. We have an appointment to a board and committee. The Abingdon Redevelopment and Housing Authority, we need to fill the vacancy of Mike Rush, who is ineligible, I cannot speak, to serve an additional term. And we have an application in here. Do we have any applications? No applications. So we need some people to apply for that.
Yeah, so on that one that was one I was going to try and, I was going to serve.
Oh, you were going to serve?
Yeah, I was going to serve.
Yes,
'cause
sorry.
In my previous life, well, actually earlier in this life, I had a lot of experience in working with housing authority stuff, but in some of the things we're trying to do as town staff in order to help facilitate affordable housing in the town, I want to be able to serve on that, but also I've got a lot of experience in the affordable housing areas, so I think it would be a good mix.
Well, I think that that is a wonderful suggestion, and I know that we talked about that before, but I had forgotten about it during the course of this meeting, and I apologize. So I will accept a motion then, if we are in agreement, to appoint Mr. Cochran to serve on the Abingdon Redevelopment and Housing Authority.
I'd like to make that motion.
second.
So we have a motion by Vice Mayor Anderson, a second by Mr. Webb. Is there any discussion?
Thank you for stepping up to that.
Yes.
Yes.
If there's no discussion, Kim, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Austin.
Aye.
Ms. Quetch.
Aye.
Mr. Webb.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Anderson.
Aye.
And Mayor Pilgrim.
Aye. So I think we've covered our business tonight. It's been a great meeting, and I will call us adjourned. Thank you.